Welcome, Pisces, Sun, Moon, and Rising sign. This is your 2026 30-minute overview video. My name is Lori Lothy, and I'll be your astrologer today, Western Tropical Zodiac. Guys, it is going to be a time of increased prosperity. And I know that a lot of you Pisces have probably felt your money story hasn't quite been right since well back in 2019 onward. That's about to change. But also, I want to tell you that the universe is pulling you into what I'm going to call meaningful work. The more meaningful your work is to you, the more it's on target for something that your soul is wishing to express, the more prosperous you're going to be. And so there's going to be more bounty coming your way this year ahead in 2026. And we also can see that some blessed endings or fated endings may be occurring in your life in relationships that we would call long-term committed love stories. And if those fated endings are emerging, then you're just here to let go and let God. It is time to surrender those things. It's not about you. It's about the destiny that's playing through your sky at this time. And you have residential shifts that are possibly going to show up for a few of you, whether or not you think you're going to move. Some of you, maybe most of you, will have some kind of change in or about or from your home. So we're going to break it down for your sign, and we're going to do that right now. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to open up with the beginning of the biggest story for you, which is the Lord of your sign, Jupiter. Before we break it down, I'm also going to give you a screenshot. Well, yes, it's the thumbnail of the video, but it's also a useful little meme for you to keep handy in the year ahead so you can lean into this energy and remember what this year is mostly about. Now, this is just an overview video, maybe 25 minutes or so. I do have up to 2.5 hour long videos for your sign already recorded a couple of months ago for sale on my website. Check down below my video, you'll find the link. And those 12 videos, one for each sign or by the bundle, so you can listen for Sun, Moon, and Rising, our fundraisers. One of the main reasons I'm putting up this fundraiser this year, besides more equipment and some staff, is to help me allow for a scholarship fund when I teach Sky Reader. Last year, I did let a lot of people just come in for free who were having financial hardship. But this year, I've got a scholarship, a booty, a bit of money from you guys that I'll apply towards that as well. All right, so let me show you the thing that I want you to screenshot for the main themes of this year. I meditated this morning for you guys. I picked these words out of my inner psyche. So hopefully this is useful, that you can have this. I know I can never figure out what to do with this new way my software lines up with my messy Mac. Okay, so we'll just play along. This is 2026. This is the main themes for you. It is literally about prosperity blossoming, making the work matter. Yes, you can actually have meaningful work in this lifetime, as well as residential shifts and, of course, fated endings. So I kind of covered it, but this little screenshotable, which I'm not going to hold up to the video for much longer, so grab it now, is hopefully going to give you some remembering guidance as the year progresses for your sign. Now, if you're listening for your sun sign, you're listening for your career, your purpose, the deepest essence of who you are. If you're listening for your moon sign, it's your home, your nest, but your emotions and mind and what you think and feel about life. If you're in a mopey mood, it's that moon that's doing the trick on you. And if you're looking for your rising sign, that's a simulation avatar character that you play in this game of life. It's not the true you. The sun is the true you, but the soul is playing through the character, right? The light of the sun is shining through your character. Let's get this 25-minute roundup on the way. So I'm recording for you guys on Tuesday, December 30th. I think it's coming up 5 days from now. My Patreon community gets this early access ad-free. You might want to join that community as well. So first of all, for every single sign, I'm drawing a card from the Archetype book by Caroline Myss. Okay. Why? Because we all embody archetypes in life. We carry a pattern of being and we change it up over our lives. We're not always the same pattern. There are things like the orphan and the hermit and the sage. And, there's different archetypes, the queen, the king. But I just chose a card for you and I don't want you to get upset by it. And the card is the archetypal card called the prostitute. Now, before you freak out, it's not what you think it is, okay? Prostitute doesn't have to be about our sexuality. It is where we give up something because we prostituted ourselves, where we have we've compromised in a profound way. So in the light attribute, this archetype is all about accentuating the challenges of surviving. That means food, shelter, water, and money. without negotiating the power of your spirit. And in its shadow, it places material considerations and security above self-empowerment. And I'd add that the shadow of the prostitute would be places material considerations and security above the soul, above the path of your deepest essence. Now, you guys have had a story that has begun maybe to get tired for you. A lot of Pisces have had to deal with Chiron moving through the second house of their chart since 2019. Now, if that hasn't impinged on your earnings, money, savings, and resources, then maybe on your teeth, your face, your nose, your, whatever, and your dietary habits and styles, cavities, facial problems, things you had to have removed from your face, problems with your nose and face, maybe problems with your throat, maybe issues with your dietary habits and styles and needing to make some big changes. These things have been on the Chironic agenda since 2019. It's clearing out a little bit in 26 and completely in 2027. And as you're getting rid of that old story and you're working past that Chironic wound in that place of the second house, you might notice that there's important changes occurring here where you're no longer going to feel like you're under the weight of that story because something new is happening. Why I said prosperity blossoms and make work matter is because the sky's lining up to bring you new forms of livelihood or ways of vocational and professional directionality that also should line up with money, right? With making some money or having some money or coming into some money or something like that. So number one, let's start with that story. You are somebody who has Jupiter ruling you. So we're going to talk about Jupiter shortly. And so a lot of your life story runs on Jupiter juice, and Jupiter's, got a 12-year cycle through the heavens. But what I really want to focus on now is the second house. Your second house is your vocational house. Voice, vocation, and calling is more than just money. And the Chironic wound hasn't been just troubling you financially. Chiron has a key to purpose. He's asking you, what's your true purpose? Why are you here? What are your unique gifts and talents? What are the hard lessons and difficulties in life that you've learned things from? And now you have uniquely positioned yourself to benefit the world with what we would call your original medicine, the thing you're here to offer the world, because you have the solution or the medicine for what ails the world. And in some way, you can offer your balm, your medicine balm, because you've lived through your own healings and your own journeys. Now, Chiron here has been trying to activate that for you since 2019. To some degree, money problems may have been about being off purpose, unless you think your job was to sell cigarettes or something. Maybe you didn't find yourself fitting into the groove of work. Work wasn't fitting you. Square pigs and round holes and square pigs. Maybe a paucity or like a Sahara desert, a dryness around money connected to work. But this is going to change. And that's going to be because in the month of March, well, let's start earlier. In the end of the very tail end of January, around the 26th, Neptune will enter into the part of the sky that is your money house. And Saturn will follow him up on February the 14th. And the two of them are going to actually connect on February 20th and a 0-degree conjunction in your money house. This is 6,000 years rare. Now, as they're getting ready to leave, you might notice that December and January, you're feeling like still kind of vast, spacious and spaced out, inertia, uncertainty, confusion about everything from where you should live to your career, to your relationship with a significant other. Everything's kind of in a miasma of fog and lack of certainty as Neptune has been dissolving. Well, Saturn has been trying to structure for the last 3 years. That combination probably felt like you were melting or something, but that's okay because now we're moving away from all of that 3 years, which is very potentially good for a spiritual awakening, but very bad for real life, real world success. And those two planets are moving now into your second house. So this is going to change everything. Saturn is going to bring you structure, focus, and discipline for 3 years. Okay. From February of 26 to 2028, I think it's April. You're going to have a lot of structure, form, and discipline, perseverance, and sober-minded realism about making money, and having resources. And at the very same time, which is a wonderful thing, I'm sure you're going to be grateful for that, Saturn is also potentially going to bring you work. You're going like, well, why? Well, because it's your money house. But there's even more to that. Saturn is the ruler of your 11th house of career gains. So if he can do it, he will. He'll bring you money through the gains of one's career. That or through a sibling one older, but mostly likely a gains of one's career. And at the same time, he's good for saving and conserving resources. He's the guy who can help you figure out how to incorporate for lower tax structures. He's the guy that can help you find stable solutions to money that is being spent and ways to curtail spending. He looks across the way at your significant other house, like the money that belongs to your spouse, or the money that belongs to the in-laws, or the money that belongs to, this is the 8th house, inheritances, alimony, spousal support, all of those things. There's a lot of ways it can go here, right? With that energy. But for one thing, it's not just the money you make and save. It's the money that can come from others. And Saturn wants to stabilize and concretize that. At the same time, Neptune is going to open up doors of new vision. What are your visions? What are your deepest imaginings? If you put Saturn and Neptune in the money house together, make your money dreams real. Spend some time on a vision board this year, especially around February the 20th, when those planets join together. It's not an idle pastime, because Neptune can bring the vision and the fantastical and the imaginary with Saturn into the real world, right? Into the tangible structural space called space-time, concrete reality. So for you, I would definitely say do some money work, some money visioning, some money meditations, maybe write and journal what it is you like to see in your life in terms of possessions, cars and furniture and a home and all that stuff. We can possess them. We have them. It's the I have house. What havingness do you need? You've been doing a lot of beingness, right? With Saturn and Neptune for the last 3 years. Now, what havingness do you need, especially around tangible resources? And you do not need to prostitute yourself for money, okay? It is not an essential way to go about it. You can get money in a way that's in alignment with your purpose, and particularly the sky supports that story. And one of the reasons the sky will support that story, right, is way down the pipeline in the fall. In October, Venus will star point in the 3rd week of October in Scorpio. And Scorpio is the part of the chart that represents the purpose and meaning of your life. It is your 9th house of God. And that star point can really gel something for you. It can mean that as of next fall, you're going to sort of know that the alignment of earnings and money and career and purpose and work must come together in a deeply meaningful way. This is a spiritual house full of knowledge and wisdom. This is a place where we align with our dharmic path in life. And her star point is happening for the last time in a lifetime. She's been doing the star point here for decades. She skipped a beat 4 years ago. She's back for a grand finale. This is the last chance you have for this Venusian star point alignment in your, drum roll please, 9th house. And because you also have a Taurus placement in your chart, as we all do, that is your 3rd house. And your 3rd house could open up a change of residence. And so there is a thing going on where the star point could also relocate you. It could relocate you over a year, like October, add a year. It could change your city, your country, your neighborhood, more likely a local change. But with Venus in the house of foreign lands, it could also be to move or travel and live abroad. Now, one thing I want to mention, because I did talk about residential changes, right? What could bring that on for you that you would want to move? Well, no small deal, to say the very least. I mean, this is what we call a humdinger. Uranus is going to enter into your 4th house of home, property, and real estate. Alrighty. This is a huge energy shift. It has a magnitude 10 on the Richter scale regarding where you want to reside in the world. Now, because Uranus brings the unexpected, the surprising, and the shocking as he moves into Gemini on April the 24th and will be there for the next 6-7 years, you will become more nomadic than you might prefer. I mean, ask anyone who's lived through this transit, who's already gone through this Uranus story, which would be the Aquarius risings, who lived through that 2018 to 2026 disruption of the home. So if you thought you were going to settle down in one place and live happily ever after in one location, it's very unlikely. And this first ingress of Uranus here into Gemini throughout 2026 from April till the end of the year is likely to create a momentum for for a residential move. You probably wouldn't choose a move necessarily before the third week of April, but we can see with Venus's star point in the fall and with Uranus's electrical shock and awe in the fourth house, there will be changes of home. If you do not move your home, there's major changes about whom you live with and the situation in the domestic life and in the home. Now, another part of the home changes and why they may occur and what might disrupt your home or open up the doors of a new home, right? There's a lot going on in your sky, is that as Uranus moves here in the month of April, end of April, he hooks up with Neptune and Saturn, right? Those two planets together in your money house, which is not bad. That's like a positive flow called a sextile, but it means you might have the money to possess a new home. Okay, so something surprising could happen in your finances anytime after the end of April that brings you into the possession of a new home or the finances to possess a new home. Those are themes that may occur at this time. And at the same time this is occurring, we also have the energy of a trine to Pluto from Aquarius. Now, your sky, for the Aquarius part of your sky, as a Pisces rising, is your fourth house, is your 12th house. And this is a moksha spiritual liberation house. And yet, so at a psychological level, you might find April through to the end of the year, you have these massive divine downloads and insights as you break through and shatter through karmic patterns, past life patterns, and ancestral patterns that can be also very spiritually liberating and completely freeing in some way. But if that's not the cycle, then we're also going to look at the possibility of changing your home and transforming your reality by moving to a distant or far off land or shore, another meaning of the 12th house. Now, that can be a distant land in your own country. If I live in Los Angeles, I'm going to say, man, going to New York City is pretty far away, but it can also mean a foreign land as well. So we have some indications you might make a massive move from where you currently reside sometime by the end of this year. And there may be some actual like foreign qualities to the move, right? But again, another seaboard from the one you currently reside on is also the same energy. So keep that in mind as well. Now, the big deal in your life, bar nothing and everything and nothing else, is that you are beholden to Lord Jupiter, the ruler of Pisces. It is not Neptune. Okay, modern Neptune, yeah, Neptune's your modern ruler. But for Time Lord status, you need to consider that your modern ruler is not Neptune, who takes 160 years to travel the heavens. What kind of Time Lord is that if you can't live 160 years to get the benefits of his journey through each sign? You know, like that doesn't work. Your Time Lord is Jupiter, and he moves through a sign in a year. He goes through all 12 zodiac signs in 12 months. So he's timely enough, right? You can use him. And what happens is that Jupiter's been moving in 2025 into 2026, midway, summer to summer, through your fifth house. Now, if you have children, this could bring you grandchildren by the end of this transit. Doesn't mean the grandchildren appear. It means that maybe one of your children conceives a child or their partners conceive a child between last summer to like this June 30th. All right. It also is really good for you if you're of childbearing age or your partner is to conceive a child. It's really good for starting new entrepreneurial creative projects and entrepreneurial businesses and being more artistic and creative and expressing the muse more fully, writing, communicating, singing, dancing, performing, and expanding your reach and range. And if you have a natural gift or talent in any way, it doesn't have to be artistic. You're naturally a genius, a scientist, a mathematician, a singer. The talents you were born to express are in the fifth house, and Jupiter wants to expand them and allow for you to express them. But if you're looking for romantic love, Jupiter here is just as tricky as he is in the seventh house when he transits there. It means if you're in a sexual romantic relationship and it's not the ideal one for you, he will help it come to a blessed ending, a gentle namaste, see you later, it's been a good ride, ciao. Okay, so there's that. And that is accompanied by the South Node that started transiting through your house of committed relationship, including marriages. That South Node transit began moving through your seventh house in January of 2025 and does not finish up until July of 2026. This is going to simply mean that you're going to likely find yourself still living out a story around something that became more acute midsummer last year. So say June of last year through to June 30th of this year, there may be the potential for the releasing and surrendering of a relationship in your life, usually a loved one. Okay. Now, if that has occurred already or is still occurring, fine. And then the good news is Jupiter goes direct on March the 11th. From March the 11th through to June the 30th, as he moves forward in your sex romance house, all right, and we still have the South Node of Fate in your 7th house, the new story can become a destined, fated love story comes into your life, connected to past lives and karma. And this is where, if you are looking for a relationship because you're single, then I suggest that basically March 11th to June the 30th could really bring in a soulmate type love story. So for single Pisces looking for love, I think don't start anything before March 11th because a retrogradation will mean a turn of direction. So don't even bother dating till then, just wait it out. If you are in a relationship already or are already in the middle of an ending of some relationship, then it's just going to continue to do that until March the 11th. And then you can look forward to anything fresh and new. Jupiter then will move into Leo, which is your 6th house of work. There is where we get to the whole, prosperity blossoms and work matters. It's like, this is where you might find yourself going, okay, I wonder what kind of work is going to fulfill me. It's going to activate a Venusian mandate in the fall that I should be on purpose with my life. And along comes this Jupiter blessing in the house of work. And Jupiter will bless you there from June 30th of this year until July of next year, indicating a period of time in which the idea of being lucky in work happens. Now, if you're somebody who could have employees, you'll increase your employees, you'll hire more people, for whatever role you play in the world, hire more servants, a cook, a chef, a gardener. That's what the 6th house is. You might hire staff for your business or, whatever. But it's also going to operate to open up doors of luck and opportunity when it comes to the idea of just work for you. Whatever work you do in the world, and if you don't work now, you're unemployed, then Jupiter will find you work. Jupiter will bring service and work and employment and all of that to the table for you. And in fortunate and lucky and blessed ways at that. However, the South Node will accompany Jupiter here, which is unusual, already very unusual. So we have now a South Node transit that can only occur every 18 years, right? Moving into this Leo part of the sky in the month of July. So as we go through the July of 2026 to the end of 2027, having a South Node transit through the 6th house can mean leaving behind a line of work or a type of work that you've done before. And Jupiter with the South Node says, but we want to bring goodness, blessings, and expansion. And it's a little bit like when you turn the hot water on and the cold water on and you end up with warm water, like, on the taps, the faucets, because Jupiter would just expand the work, bring you more work, increase the work, increase the prosperity. And Jupiter is like, that's what he wants, right? More work, more employees, more opportunities. But the South Node is pulling it back a bit. He's voluming it down. It's tempering it into lukewarm. So there is some stuff happening here. Quite often, the South Node wants to bring you some destined opportunities with Jupiter that connect you to a more deeply spiritual path. It's like work has to have a kind of spiritual seed within it. It can't just be chasing the money, chasing the fame, chasing the glory. That's Rahu. And Rahu, or the North Node, can bring that for you, right? That's his job. But that's not what the South Node does with Jupiter. The South Node is like, can we anchor the work and service in a deeper spiritual place? Can we find a kind of deeper resonance by which we want to operate in our work life in this world? And because of that, some of you might have blessed quittings and endings of jobs. So a new and more better one can come in the year that is occurring. Again, we're looking at, July of 26 to the July of 27 for the work shifts that are happening in destined ways that still bless you. Now, pets belong to the 6th house, and Jupiter wants bigger and better and more. He'd like you to have a whole litter of pets. The South Node means, okay, the animals coming through for pets in your life are past life connected, past in this life, the reincarnation of a beloved childhood animal, who knows? But pets with fated, destined soul connections to you can enter your life. And your 6th house is debts. You owe money, right? Oh, darn it, I owe money. This is an interesting one because it can be any kind of money. You owe money to the bank, the mortgage holders, your spousal support for your ex-husband or wife, money that you must pay, right? And South Node can release it. You can release you from debt. It can throw the debt down the drain, flush the toilet, goodbye indebtedness, okay, in blessed lucky ways. If anyone owes you money from the past life or this life, and you know that money is owed to you, the South Node Jupiter could bring the money back. So the money that you've been waiting to see that's owed to you can return to you. And you might go, thank God, I was hoping one day that person would pay me back. So money owed can return as well. And when that could show up again is July of this year through to July of next year. But most acutely, you want to see like, okay, if it's going to come back, when will it come back, right? And it's more likely to show up when the South Node is entering Leo in July and Jupiter is in Leo in July. They're both there together, and they are in a aspectual relationship to Saturn and Neptune, right, and Uranus. So all said and done, if money's coming back to you, it's probably in the second half of this year. Okay, I'm going to go with the second half of this year. You could watch out for your health, please, because the South Node tends to bring health challenges and they tend to be karmic. That's all I can say about watching clients over the years. The South Node will travel your sixth house for 18 months, right? It'll get there in July to the end of 27 kind of thing, 2027. And you might have health challenges that are called the nature of the sign in which this is occurring, right? So the sign in which it's occurring is the sign of Leo. So that's cardiovascular, blood pressure, heart health. So as a way to avoid any of that is to often get working out and also have all your blood work done for cholesterol, perhaps, and blood work and heart, cholesterol, high blood pressure, heart health. So that part of your body needs to be watched out for, and you need to pay attention to help that part of your body. Now, Jupiter is bringing you the knowledge, wisdom, and blessings to solve the problem. Okay. So, and because you have this new Saturn in the second house story that's starting up this year, right, in the end of mid-February, with the combination later on, going July to the end of the year, some of you are going to make some dietary habit changes. It's kind of constriction energy, right, Saturn, like to constrain and be more disciplined with the kind of things that you eat, all right? Food style will matter as you go through the second half of this year for health-related reasons. All right? Especially if you've ever struggled with anything that's addictive as well, but just in general. Now, as a Pisces, it's your feet you got to watch out for, but the sign of Leo, which is in your sixth house, also draws attention to vulnerability around cardiovascular stuff. All right? And the blood as well. So then we're talking about any blood illnesses, right? So there's certain illnesses that affect the blood. So this is where dietary changes will be your ally, to say the very least. Okay. And that won't be something you're going to focus on, more likely or not. You won't even think about it until we get through to the Jupiter in the sign of Leo and the South Node in the sign of Leo, midsummer, July to the end of the year. Now, I covered a lot here, but the North Node is opposite the South Node midway through the year in your 12th house. For any of you wanting to make money online through digital income, borderless revenue, or move to another country and make money, for example, to be profitable that way, because this nodal shift into the 12th house happens and it sextiles Saturn and it sextiles Neptune in the money house, you might be able to either get hired by a company in an international place, move to another country for work, make money from your home base that you already live in, but it involves international revenue. So you're working for people in other countries, or you're doing the online digital world as well. That could work for you as well. And to finalize the Pisces story, if any of you ever wanted to go back to school or university or college or get into the book publishing industry, this is something that may emerge in the fall for you as a possibility, as Venus star points in your ninth house, which is Scorpio, but after also backtracking through Libra, right? And Libra is Libra library book. So she's going to go eighth house. She's going to go ninth house. She's going to go eighth house. She's going to wobble all over, but it can be pulling like things like, oh, what if you made some royalty income? What if you had an advance on your book, And so money that comes from book advances and royalty income and all of that is a possibility for any Pisces who are already looking at the potential for creating something that they wish to write that would then become, a book of some kind or a podcast. I'll add podcasting for ad revenue. So I want all Pisces to think, do you want to start podcasting or publishing? This will be something you're more aware of in the tail end of this year as we approach the fall. So hopefully that's useful for you. Now, everyone's getting a card draw at the very end. I think for you, I'm also going to use the enchanted map. Sometimes I'm changing it up. I don't know. Do I want that for you? I don't think so. So then everyone gets a new draw, and I'm going to scoot back here. Hang in there. What is the draw card for you guys? We're going to get the no, not the one. Don't worry, I'm finding one. I think I don't want to give you the urban crow, and you're probably wondering why. Why the urban crow? Because your host of your voice, is getting a Saturn Neptune story going, which is, again, once in a lifetime. And if I didn't say that, and what does the crow, who makes a lot of noise and has a big voice, want you to know? Okay. If you like this kind of content, like and subscribe. Don't forget to check out the All Signs bundle or your individual signs, where you get 2.5 hours about your next year, not 25 to 30 minutes, because I can't possibly do everything all of the time, right? Oh, hang on. Hang on. It didn't fan so that I could draw a card because it's stuck together. Now I have to interview an astrologer right after you, and I'm losing any light in my apartment. Caching. What do I mean? Look at that. Caching. He's putting, what is he doing? What is that crow doing? What does caching mean? I know you're going to try to save money and conserve money. That's for sure. That's Saturn in the second house, and have discipline, focus, and perseverance about making money. 7, caching. The crow wants you to know. One day while feeding in my neighborhood crows. One day while feeding, my neighborhood crows I noticed one of them using their beak to push around some decaying leaves and then dig a hole. This bird looked around, checking to make sure it wasn't being watched, and then swiftly opens its mouth and dropped in the food. It was saving the dog kibble I'd given it for later. Oh, I love crows. They do that. I've seen them do that here in Vancouver. The crow didn't want to eat the food right away, but it didn't want to leave it around for some other creature to enjoy. You may find yourself either keeping an idea or a possession hidden until the time is right, or simply unwilling to let it go. To let go of something that you aren't using out of fear that someone else may benefit from your release or surrendering. Sometimes the moment is not right to move forward. However, it doesn't mean that the time will never arrive. You may be working on a project that holds a great deal of promise, but you are unable to devote the energy at the moment. Setting the idea aside does not mean giving it up. It means that you recognize there will be value in waiting. Oh, patience, guys. That's Saturn for sure in your second house. Caching can indicate also that you will benefit from investing, in the markets. I'm sitting with that for you, okay? That's your Libra part of your chart. Yes. When Venus star points to Scorpio, it will be the gains of the 8th, but you might have to wait for opportune investment times until after the fall already. This may be also investing in yourself or investing in a financial institution. Okay, the markets will be turbulent this year. Be careful. Not until the second half of the year, for sure, do I feel like I would put much money there. So keep that in mind. Thanks for listening, Pisces, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Patreon community down below. Substack down below. Free Pluto Chronicles in your inbox weekly, and once big splash once a month. So you get 5 emails from me a month about world events where I can talk freely. I also can talk freely in my members only community here about what's going on in the world. I can also, so I don't have to worry about demonetization. So there's a lot of places to find me, and my Patreon community is primarily my teaching platform where you have a monthly fee and you're learning a lot of stuff from me. So check it all out. Love to see you on my other platforms besides this one. Thanks, guys. Take care. Wonderful. Have a wonderful year ahead, Pisces.